Hello, my name is Rico, and today I'm gonna be going over this article or story that's called Shakespeare in the Bush. And before I proceed, I just want to apologize for my bad camera quality. I don't know why everything looks so blurry. It's usually not this bad, so I just apologize for that, and also apologize for my background. I hope it's not too distracting, but it's the best place I could do this in. But anyways, Shakespeare in the Bush. So just to give a quick summary, this story is about Laura, who is a Stanford student, and she's just recalling her experience, an experience she had while going to in a field trip to Africa. So while she was in this field trip, well, before going into this field trip, she believed that human nature was kind of the same everywhere. She thought that everybody just kind of had these exact same set of beliefs just automatically. So when she was in this trip to Africa, she was hanging out with the elders from a village, and the elders they were telling stories, and then they pressured her to tell a story from where she was from. And at this point, she was going through a dilemma with the story of Shakespeare because she thought that the story was in some way self-explanatory, that anybody could understand it. So she decided to tell them the story of Hamlet by Shakespeare, just so she could prove that anybody could understand the story the exact same way she did. But what she didn't expect is while she was telling the story, the elders they kept interrupting her and they kept trying to correct her story. So, for example, in the story, a king is assassinated by his brother so that he could take the throne, and the ghost of the king appears in the castle and basically kind of like tells, I forgot who he told, but he tells someone how he died in some way. And when the elders heard this part, they just said, "Wait, that's impossible. Once someone is dead, there's no way they can come back." So all they could really say was, "Oh, that was not a ghost. That was just witchcraft." And that's basically how the whole story goes. She's just trying to like tell the story of Hamlet, and they keep interrupting her and just kind of twisting the story, so that it kind of fits their beliefs. And well, this kind of shocks Lauren because as I said before, she thought that everybody has kind of had these exact same set of beliefs as automatically. So when they kept basically trying to put their own culture into this story, she was a little shocked. And this says a lot about how just different cultures just view things differently. So we all have like a different perspective, and well, we all have a different perspective. We all have different traditions, and those traditions can just shape our worldview. Just they can just shape the way we see things. And there's something I want to share is that we have a tradition in Mexico for New Year's, and in Mexico the tradition is people just carry an empty suitcase around them during New Year's. And what the meaning of this is that they're just hoping for like basically they're hoping for better luck, yes, better travels during the year, yes, new adventures. And that's the meaning of the suitcase. But if someone who wasn't aware of the tradition saw this, all they would think was, why are they carrying an empty suitcase around? It just kind of seems like unnecessary labor. And honestly, I feel like the best way that we can like avoid misconceptions, or we can just like avoid all this, confusing things, or just avoid assumptions in general, is to just talk to each other. Really, it's so simple. But if we just like if people from different cultures just interacted with each other more, if we just talk to each other more, then we can just understand each other more, and we can just avoid all these types of misconceptions and assumptions that we have. For example, another example I have is like, in some Asian countries, it's a tradition to like criticize your own cooking, and they do this so they could stay humble. But if someone from just another country goes to an Asian country and they're invited to, let's say, dinner, and they're not aware that they do this, and they hear like the cooks just criticizing their cooking, just insulting it, they're just gonna think, wait, so is my food not gonna be good, or like what's going on here? Why are they criticizing their food that much? So that could be confusing to like a newcomer, but it's just a tradition. It's just a common tradition. So like they could stay humble. And I feel like the most important takeaway from this is that we just shouldn't assume like how other cultures work. We should just like we should what's it called, research we should like talk to each other more. We should just like understand each other more to understand these cultures. So we, as I said, so we avoid these types of misconceptions and assumptions. Like Laura, as I said it before, Laura thought that the African tribes, she thought that they were gonna have like the same set of beliefs that she did. So she thought that they were gonna understand the story of Hamlet the way she did, but obviously that was not the case. They saw the story through their perspective, and I think that's just how it is. We shouldn't just make assumptions. We should understand each other better. And well, that's all I had for this assignment. Hopefully I was a little clear, and once again I apologize for my back camera quality, but thank you very much for listening.